In the last baby blanket video, I showed you how to take this beautiful stitch pattern and work it in a square motif, but work it all the way out to the full size of the blanket. And today what I thought I'd do is show you how to convert that by doing only 6 rounds. Whoops, let's find a finished one. By doing only 6 rounds of the blanket and then adding a border onto it that's easy to join as you go to other motifs. And I'll show you some of them that are finished so you can see what that looks like. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to make one square motif with 6 rounds, and then how to add this joining round, and then later on in the video we'll join it one-sided join, and then we'll join it two-sided joins so that you can make this beautiful motif blanket. We're going to be using Be So Sporty yarn, which is great for babies. It's 100% bamboo, sport weight yarn. Bamboo is antimicrobial, hypoallergenic, machine washable, and very soft on the skin. You can find more information about this yarn on my website. And we're also going to be using a size I9 crochet hook, which is 5.5 millimeter. You want to tie your yarn to the crochet hook, and then let's get started. We're going to chain 5 and slip stitch to the first chain to create a chain 5 ring. Because our first round of stitches is now going to go into that chain 5 space rather than into the actual chains. The first stitch is a chain 3, which counts as our first double crochet, and we're going to double crochet into the chain 5 ring. Yarn over your hook, insert your hook in the ring, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. We'll do that again. Yarn over, insert your hook in the ring, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. You want to do this for a total of 16 times in the ring, counting the chain 3 as our first double crochet, so that we have 3 so far. You want to do 16 total. So this is what it looks like when we have 16 stitches in our first round. We're going to slip stitch to the top of the chain 3 at the beginning of the round to join. And we're going to chain 1 and single crochet in that same stitch to start our second round. We're going to skip 1 stitch and work 5 double crochets in the next stitch. Okay, we're going to skip the next stitch and work a single crochet in the next stitch. We're going to skip the next stitch and work 5 double crochets in the next stitch. Skip the next stitch, single crochet in the next stitch. Skip the next stitch, 5 double crochets in the next stitch. Skip the next stitch, single crochet in the next stitch. Skip the next stitch, 5 double crochets in the next stitch. Okay, we're going to skip the last stitch and slip stitch to the top of the single crochet at the beginning of the round to join. Okay, so now we have 4 sets of single crochet and 4 corners of 5 double crochet. The next round begins with chain 3, which counts as a double crochet, and work 4 more double crochets in that same single crochet from the previous round. Okay, we're going to skip 1 stitch, single crochet in the next, 5 double crochets in the next, single crochet in the next, skip the next stitch, 5 double crochets in the single crochet. skip the next stitch, single crochet in the next, skip the, 5 double crochets in the next, single crochet in the next, skip the next stitch, 5 double crochets in the next stitch, skip the next stitch, single crochet in the next, 5 double crochets in the next, single crochet in the next, skip the next stitch, 5 double crochets in the next single crochet, skip the next stitch, single crochet in the next stitch, 5 double crochets in the next stitch, single crochet in the next stitch, skip the last stitch and slip stitch to the top of the chain 3 at the beginning of the round to join. I'm going to set that down so you can see. So now we have 8 shells of 5 double crochet. What we're doing is working an increase over each of these 4 corners, and then in between those 4 corners on the walls we're going to work even in pattern. Even in pattern in this stitch pattern means we're going to work 5 double crochets and a single crochet in the top center stitch of each shell. On the corner shells we're going to be working skip the first stitch, single crochet in the second stitch, 5 double crochets in the third stitch, single crochet in the fourth stitch, and skip the 5th stitch. So I'll show you what I mean when we do the next round. We're going to slip stitch over to the center stitch of this 5 double crochet shell in the side of the pattern. These are the 4 corners, this is one of the sides. We're going to chain 1 and single crochet in the same stitch. We're going to skip 2 stitches, single crochet or 5 double crochets in the next single crochet, okay, it's time to do a corner, so we're going to skip 1 stitch, single crochet in the next, 5 double crochets in the next, single crochet in the next. And now to work along the side in pattern, it means to work 5 doubles in a single, single in the top center of the 5 double crochet shell, 5 doubles in the next single, okay, we've reached our next corner, so we're going to skip the first stitch, single crochet in the next, 5 doubles in the next, single crochet in the next, skip the last stitch of the corner shell in the next single crochet, work 5 double crochets, okay, single crochet in the top center of the 5 double crochet shell because we're working along the side now, 5 double crochets in the next single crochet, okay, we're back to the next corner, so we're going to skip 1 stitch, single crochet in the next, 5 doubles in the next, single crochet in the next, skip the next stitch, 5 doubles in the next single crochet, single crochet in the top center stitch of the next shell, 5 double crochets in the next single crochet, we're to our next or last shell, corner shell now. So we're going to skip the first stitch of it, single crochet in the second, 5 doubles in the third, whoops, single crochet in the fourth, and skip the fifth. Work 5 double crochets in our next single crochet, okay, and we've reached all the way around our round, so we can now slip stitch into the top of the first stitch or single crochet at the beginning of the round to join. And I'll set this down so you can see what it looks like. You see now we have 2 shells along the side where we had 1 shell before, and we have our 4 corners. So we have our 4 corners, and we now have 2 shells in between each corner. And for every round that we do now, we're going to have 1 more shell along those side edges and always maintain our 4 corners. So we'll do the next round. Starting right where we left off, we're going to chain 3, which counts as our first double crochet, and work 4 more double crochets in that same stitch, which was a single crochet. And in our side pattern, it's to work 5 doubles in a single and single crochet in the center double crochet of the 5 double crochet shells. So we'll single crochet in the shell, 5 doubles in the next single, now we've reached a corner again. We're going to skip the first stitch, single in the second, 5 doubles in the third, single in the fourth, skip the fifth. In the next single crochet, we'll work 5 doubles. Okay, and then the pattern for the sides is really easy. Until we get to that next corner shell, we're always going to work 5 doubles in the single, single in the center of the shell, 5 double crochets in the single, single crochet in the top of the shell, 5 double crochets in the single. Okay, so round 5 was a repeat of round 3, and now round 6, our final round before the joining round, is a repeat of round 4. So I'll just remind you of that, but please make sure you download the free pattern on my website, and it'll give you all the line by line instructions for all of this. So we slip stitched into the center stitch of the next shell, chain 1 and single crochet in the same stitch, 5 double crochets in the next single crochet, single crochet in the center of the next shell, single crochet or 5 double crochets in the next single crochet. Okay, and now we've come to a corner, and I'm sure you're familiar with what a corner is at this point. It's skipping the first stitch, single crochet in the next, 5 double crochet in the next, single crochet in the next, and skip the last stitch. And then we're going to work on in the same pattern that we've done already and finish this round. Then at the end of round 6, I'll show you how we start the joining round and how we join it one-sided to one of the other motifs. Okay, round 6 is complete, and just to point out, it does look a little bit ruffly at certain spots, but once you wash this, it does flatten out completely. So now we're going to start our joining round, and this is really simple, and we're going to be working into the same stitches we worked in for the other rounds, and that is the center of the shell and the single crochets. That's it. So we're going to chain 6, which counts as a double crochet, chain 3, and we're going to single crochet in the center of the next shell. Then we're going to chain 3, double crochet in the next single crochet, chain 3, single crochet in the next shell, the center of the next shell, chain 3, double crochet in the next single crochet. Now we've come to our corner. We're going to chain 3 and in the center of our corner shell we're going to work double crochet, chain 3, double crochet. Okay, chain 3, and now across this entire side we're going to do chain 3, single crochet in the, double crochet in the single, chain 3, and single crochet in the center of the shell. Okay, so that's what we're going to repeat across to the next corner. Okay, we've made it across to our next corner, so we're going to chain 3, and in the center of the corner shell we're going to work double crochet, chain 3, and double crochet. Now if you weren't joining this, you would do this all the way around until you come to the beginning of the chain 6. But because we're going to join on one side, I want you to stop when you get to the next corner, and I'll show you what to do to start joining for the last side. And we start, when we join a side, we join from corner to corner. Okay, so we've reached to the point where we're ready to start our next corner, and it's normally a double crochet, chain 3, double crochet, right? Well, the entire side is made up of chain 3 spaces between the stitches. When on a joining side, we're going to replace those chain 3 spaces with chain 1, slip stitch into the chain 3 space on the opposite motif, chain 1, and that chain 1, slip stitch, chain 1 counts as your chain. Notice that I have my motif facing front up, and I have the one I want to join to facing front up, and so I'm ready to do my chain 3 space for this corner. I've done my double, and our chain 3 is going to be a chain 1, slip stitch into the corner chain 3 space on the adjacent motif. And now on the corners, this is the only time I suggest joining into the actual center chain of that space, because when you join other corners, when you join everything together in the corner, see I did them all in the same exact chain, it's a much neater join. On the sides you're only joining one time, so it's perfectly fine to just slip stitch into the whole of the chain 3 space. Okay, so a chain 1, slip stitch, chain 1, and then we're going to come back and finish our corner, which was double crochet, chain 3, double crochet into the same stitch. So our corner is now complete. We're ready now to do our chain 3 and double crochet in the next single. So we're going to chain 1, slip stitch into the next chain 3 space on the side we're joining to, chain 1, and double crochet into the single, sorry. We're going to chain 1, slip stitch into the next chain 3 space on the opposite motif, chain 1, and we're now going to single crochet into the top center of the next shell. Chain 1, slip stitch into the next chain 3 space on the opposite motif, chain 1, and double crochet in the next single crochet. Chain 1, slip stitch into the next chain 3 space, chain 1, and single crochet in the center of the next shell. Chain 1, slip stitch into the next chain 3 space on the opposite motif, chain 1, and double crochet in the next single crochet. Chain 1, slip stitch into the next chain 3 space, chain 1, single crochet in the center of the next shell. Chain 1, slip stitch into the next chain 3 space, chain 1, double crochet in the next single crochet, chain 1, slip stitch in the next chain 3 space, chain 1, single crochet in the next shell, chain 1, slip stitch in the next chain 3 space, chain 1, double crochet in the next single crochet, chain 1, slip stitch in the next chain 3 space, chain 1. Okay, and now we've come to our corner again, and it's normally a double crochet, chain 3, double crochet in the corner, so we're going to double crochet, chain 1. Now we're joining into a space that's already been joined, and you want to make sure you join in the same chain space that's been joined into before to give that neat join at the corners like I showed you. So we did double crochet, chain 1, slip stitch, chain 1. So now we'll come back and work our second double crochet in that corner, and our one side is joined. Isn't that great? So now we're going to finish up this motif because it was a one-sided join only, and we're just going to continue on in the established pattern and slip stitch to join in the top of the chain 3 of the chain 6, which counted as our double crochet. And in the next section of this video, I'll show you how to do a two-sided join. Okay, we're ready to join our next motif, and we're going to join this one on two sides. So I wanted to point out that first we did all 6 rounds in the shell pattern, and then we started our joining round in the middle of the round, which is what we normally do, and we worked our way to the corner. I want you to make sure that when you begin to start joining that you have two fully uncompleted sides for joining. You don't want to start joining here and join from this corner to this corner and expect to join at this corner, because this is already done. So you want to make sure that you have corner to corner of 2 sides incomplete before you start joining a two-sided join. So I've worked my way through to this corner, and I have the first double crochet done. And now I'm going to join just like we did in the first round, in the last section. We're going to start with a one-sided join. So we start by joining in the center chain of the chain 3 space corner, because remember, in the corners it looks much neater when we join more than once if we join into a chain rather than the chain 3 space. So we do the equivalent of a chain 3 with a chain 1, slip stitch, chain 1, and double crochet in the same stitch for the corner, and all of our chain 3 spaces along the side will be a chain 1, slip stitch, chain 1. And you just want to continue on and do exactly what we did in the last section until we get to the next corner. Okay, we've made it to our corner, and just like in the other corner, or just like we work corner to corner, right? So in the last section where we did one-sided join, it's going to be the same. The only difference now is that instead of stopping joining at the end of this corner, we're going to continue joining in the same fashion, but to a different motif all the way to its second corner. And then we'll continue on and do the rest of this motif to come to the beginning of the round plain without joining. So it's nothing that you haven't done already, which is good, right? So we'll chain 1, and we're going to slip stitch to join into this corner that's already been joined into twice, which makes that chain space much easier to see also. And we'll come back and double crochet in the same stitch to complete the corner. But now, just want to point out again, We're done joining to this motif. We're now joining to this motif. But we're doing the exact same thing we just did, just to a different side, or a different motif as well. So it's just replacing every chain 3 space with a chain 1, slip stitch to the opposite motif, and chain 1. But otherwise working this round exactly the same as we do when we're not joining. Helps to not get your yarn tangled. Okay, come back now. Okay, we've come to our last corner. Double crochet, chain 1, slip stitch into the center chain of that joining chain in the opposite corner, or the opposite motif's corner, chain 1, and double crochet into it into the same stitch in our current motif's corner. And then you can see we now have 2 sides joined on this motif. This side is joined to this motif, and this side is joined to that one. So now we'll come around and just finish off this motif in the pattern without joining. Which means we're now working chain 3s in between our stitches, just like we did in the beginning. And we'll slip stitch to the 3rd chain of the chain 6, the portion that counted as a double crochet, to join. And then you want to fasten off. And for this particular baby blanket, if I'm making a baby blanket, or if you are, you could do this in any configuration for any size blanket, any size scarf or shawl. It's seriously just a motif that you join as you go. So you could make any type of fabric with it. So for this particular one, because we've got a 3x3 square for 9 motifs, we would just need to join 1 more motif right here. But you can take this and apply it to any type of project: scarf, wrap, shawl, a larger blanket even. I mean, the sky's the limit. Once you know how to make motifs and join them as you go, you can really make any kind of project with it. Make sure you go to my website, KristinOmdahl.com, to download the free pattern and find out more information about Be So Sporty yarn.